Hola! How are you guys doing? Welcome to this Tarot Live. And it is Thursday, I think. Yeah, Thursday. And moving ahead to the weekend. Wanted to touch base with the romantic energies at present because there seems to be a lot of energy surrounding life mates, soulmates, twin flames, and what's going to be highest and best for you moving forward in your life. Prioritizing things, allowing yourself to surrender to the higher vision of your life. And that one can be really interesting. I know I'm struggling with that one right now in terms of how I think things should go and when. So divine timing is also really important and definitely at play. So what I've done is I'm just going to dive into the divine masculine energies, the divine feminine energies, and then the energies of the two together. And we'll see if we can have some clarity, some inspiration, motivation, guidance from spirit at this time. And just kind of move forward and continue to put one foot in front of the other, continue to make those baby steps and get clarity where there's been so much confusion and chaos out of our egos dying essentially and coming to this new level of understanding. And then now in that transition phase of bringing that understanding through to the 3D level and communicating from this new understanding instead of communicating from the past ego self. And as I said before, continuing to release and letting go of the timing of things. So coming back to that timeless self within you and doing your absolute best with the time in between, whether it's the Hermit energy that you're working with, the Hanged Man energy, the Death card, or the Tower card, because those ones are really prominent right now, depending on what your life path is, depending on what your energies are between completion cycles with karmic partners, soulmates, twin flame energies. If you believe in twin flames, if you don't, that's fine. That part is obviously not for you. And then we just had 222 on the timestamp there. So that might be a numerological synchronicity for somebody watching. And so another thing they're telling me to say is that in the past year or two, things really came to a climax, a crescendo in terms of ego mistakes being made, self-sabotaging patterns of self-harm. And when I say self-harm, it really means you want something in your mind's eye and you're working towards manifesting that, but you have so much wounding and energies that you're not conscious of, and those are being brought forward. And so you're actually working on those and closing those cycles before you can actually lay the foundation to the dreams and the goals that are coming from your heart and your spirit and your soul. So that's why things can get a little bit muddled in our human minds when we're looking at the outcomes and not the entire journey and the lessons and the evolution of our spirit. It can get a little bit burdensome. And so continue to release the burdens, continue to rely on tribe members, people who are honest, people who are there for you, and where that energy is reciprocal and balanced. So it's not just you giving to them and not just them giving to you, but a nice balanced energy there. So I think that's everything. Just continue to do your best to maintain an energy of love as your base instead of fear as your base. And that's problematic right now. It's a struggle for many of us because these shifts are quite dramatic. And there's a lot of uncertainty. So, of course, it's human nature because we are humans as well. This is humanity, right? And those of you who are starseeds and earth angels and even psychonauts, it's like, we're here to spread truth. We're here to be honest with others and ourselves. We're here to balance karma. We're here to be joyful leaders and inspiration of dark and light. So we're here to hold that balance and embody that balance. Very interesting energies, right? It's a lot to handle sometimes. And so if you need to call on help, whether that's to spirit, friends, family, do so. You're not a one man or one woman show. You can't do it alone. I think we know that by now. But when you close down, when your guards go up, when your defenses are up and you're protecting yourself, going through these transition phases, you can just block everybody out. And you might have to do that once in a while. Just be mindful of how long you're doing that for and what your intentions are. If you're mindful that you are doing that because you just can't deal, you might want to consider therapy and or reaching out to someone very trustworthy and saying, look, my mental health is not great. What are your thoughts? Because many of us can't simply just reach out to the regular old Joe because they're going to have no fucking clue what we're actually dealing with or thinking about in terms of holding space for two different essentially realities when we're talking about spirit and humanity and the 3D and the 5D and the unity consciousness of all of those. So hopefully I didn't lose you guys in that spiel or channeled message, but spirit is really wanting us to ground in love because there is so much opportunity to kind of untether yourself and just kind of float off into the chaos because it's easier at the time, but focusing on your commitment to yourself and commitment to your journey might help you ground in instead of kind of floating off into the abyss. And that can look like addictions, and that can look like self-harm, negative thought cycles, all of those things. So working your way back from those, if that's where you've been, just take care of yourselves. Okay, so let's see what energy is going on with the divine masculine. When I say divine masculine, of course, this could be feminine, non-binary, could be masculine, but the masculine energies. So these are the qualities of the masculine within you and or without in terms of another person. It can be either. So the animal totem that the masculine energy is working with is the raccoon, the inventor. Decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. You have many roles and can juggle them well. This one's fantastic because the masculine has been really struggling with kind of like addictions, obsession with the material world and not being able to connect into the heart space and move forward with some of the divine feminine surrender energies. So this is really cool because when you're wanting to be in control, you tend to manipulate or trick people to hopefully control the outcome of what you're looking for. Now that will always end up in sabotage in one way or another. But when you're in it at the moment, you might not particularly, okay, yeah, Charlotte, I will make a note of that for sure. Thanks for saying hi. And so the practice of integrity, it's like if you are used to, so when we have the death of an old self and the conscious breaking of an old pattern, because you've recognized whether it's through inner work and or through relationships, what your part was to play in the mistakes or downfalls and or pushing other people away, etc., and not embracing the harmony, actually creating disharmony. So the raccoon energy of focusing on integrity and avoid your go-to dark side element. So really transforming and transitioning into this new version of yourself. You have many opportunities. You have many choices on the table because you have a lot of basically pure potential that because you held yourself back in the past, now you've let go of some of those vices and the mindset where you were a victim. Now you're realizing that you actually made yourself a victim in a lot of the situations and or your trauma from the past actually led you down that road to have the mentality of just blaming others and projecting onto others instead of actually doing the work yourself and taking responsibility yourself. So this is really fantastic energy for the masculine within you or somebody in your life. You have the ingenuity to claim what you desire, whether this is to be an entrepreneur. You can save so that you have a safety net. If you're transitioning from sort of a 9-to-5 job that you've had a long time, you can save. You can do it with the combination of your mind and your heart. You don't have to, if there's too much trepidation of just fully going with your heart, taking that risk and leap of faith, then definitely go with your heart. Go in that direction. Make sure you're moving your spirit in that direction. If you have intuition coming through and you're not moving your spirit in that direction, you're going to feel a lot of resistance, a lot of burden, a lot of confusion, maybe nightmares, or just dreams that are repeating. That kind of thing can happen when you're starting to work with your intuition a little bit more. So pair them, okay? You don't have to just go from the mind straight to the heart. You can pair them together and go, all right, I'm going to move from my heart, but what do I need to know to move there with intellect, right? With intelligence. How can I do this the best way possible for me? So also it's talking about juggling them well. Well, maybe you can do more than one thing at once, whereas you didn't have the energy before because you were stuck in addictions, or people pleasing, or just listening to everybody except for your heart and your guides. Then now you can actually have more energy, which is freed up from creating that freedom by letting go of people who are not good for you. So it's a comfort zone for you, but it actually propels you to stay in a stuck state, whereas there are other people in your life who will help you move forward and basically entice you to be a better version of yourself. And that's what you've been running away from for a little while. So the masculine is also really insecure right now. They're going through a lot of questioning from maybe remorse, guilt, shame, energy from the past, really looking at things and going, wow. Some of you might have had tower moments. So spiritual awakening, spiritual aha moments, your guides, or you were in relationship and you started to realize, oh my goodness, this is my pattern. I thought it was other people, and I've been blaming other people, but it's mine, and you're starting to take responsibility, which is great. Your insecurity might be affecting some of your decision making. So that's where that mind and heart energy comes in to balance the two, so that this insecurity doesn't take over once again. And if you're leading from this place of fear and insecurity, you might be going a little bit too slow because you're too far in the comfort zone. So you're dragging your feet instead of being that king and walking forward with confidence, knowing, if you have changed, if you have had a change of heart or an epiphany, or your intuition is awakening, celebrate that within yourself and be confident, courageous within that, because that in itself is massive. Many people don't change. Many people will stay the same forever. They will avoid, they will resist. They don't take responsibility, because that's the challenge. That's the difficult part, to own your bullshit. So this insecurity, hopefully we'll see in the cards here, is hopefully being balanced by some courage, some optimism, some joy, because being in that old energy, wow, the masculine did have a lot of negative control, manipulation, overtaking energy, not listening, not being patient enough, just a lot of energies, of course, that we can see in the collective. And the feminines have also been doing a lot of shifting and changing over the last decade or so, right? But it seems like the masculines are having their moment of opportunity here to really come through and to balance some scales. So let's see. Let's do, toxic attachments here. So the masculines have been really attached to old energy, because the old version of themselves was insecure, unable to make decisions, unable to disconnect from people who hurt them. And because being in that control and manipulation energy, even if someone hurts you, it's almost like that's more familiar because of your past experiences and maybe toxic parents, toxic childhoods, or being an outcast, being shunned at school. These things, like, it really does impact you greatly. And it is a travesty to say that these things didn't affect you in that kind of machismo energy. because they clearly have affected you and shaped your personality and shaped a lot of the traits that you're now releasing. So releasing addictions, releasing people who hurt you, who really like did a number on you. It is time to release them, because, you know, when you hang on to these people, whether it's someone who brings, you know, if you say have addictions with, let's say cocaine, and then you have a friend who comes over, a friend quotation, who comes over and brings it and is like, hey, do you want some? But they know you've already expressed to them, I'm quitting this. Like, I'm making an effort to stop. That's not your friend, okay? That's an enabler, and that's someone who wants to keep you down so that they can take whatever they want from you. So the masculine now has experience being a manipulator and a controller, and now you actually have to remove yourself from the manipulators and controllers that you attracted to you, because you were in that energy. And, you know, balance is balance. Spirit does bring through karma in different ways, right? Because when you're an adult, you now have the choice to continue hurting people, to take responsibility for your energy or not. So you're no longer the little child who has no say. You're no longer the little child who can't take action, right? So it's your responsibility to move away from people who deliberately harm you, deliberately keep you stuck, keep you still. They don't lift you up. They don't inspire you. You don't feel like you could take on the world with them. Those are your people, your tribe, people who see the best in you, who also see the worst, and they want to work with you as long as respect is on the table. Like, if you burn bridges, you're going to have to figure out how to repair those too, right? But right now, you guys are really moving through this insecurity, toxic attachment, so that you can reinvent yourself, reinvent your life, move forward without the old hindrances of the past and the old version of you from the past. So dead end. Whoops. Anyway, I was going to say how to jumper, but hopefully if there's anybody with suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, hang in there. You know what? There are some surprises in store. I don't know why Spirit is kind of dangling people right now in terms of that hanged man energy, but there is a reason. If you can't tap into it, maybe you do have that inner knowledge. That's great. But if not, then just hang in there. Keep on connecting to those friends that are good for you. They make you feel good, right? Like, don't be around the ones who are more along the energies of what you're moving away from. Okay. So dead end, you hit a dead end. And this is also mermaid energy too. And we have a dragon in this card too. So there's this energy of transformation. It's like, okay, you can stop at this dead end and you can go, wah, like, poor me. What am I going to do here? This is horrible. Or you can go, okay, this is what I've learned from myself. These are my toxic attachments. This is where my insecurity is leading. This is part of a dead end, but there's still a lot of energy and lessons in there that I can still move through. This could be ideas on businesses. It could be people that you connected with where you weren't ready at the time. But you always saw them, you were inspired by them. It's like, reconnect with those people who inspire you, but know that you're going to have to give equally. So that part of you, start practicing that, flexing that muscle where you're giving equally and you're taking responsibility, right? Show that you're changing, show the action here of your new self. It's pretty exciting. Angelic guidance. So your message here from Spirit in terms of your love life is this connection has the support of guides and ancestors as it is breaking the patterns of the past. You and this individual may have past lives together and you are working to end one cycle and begin a new one. Listen to your inner truth and signs from Spirit. No matter the outcome, this is a soulmate bond with service to humanity at the core. So the masculines might know that they do have a divine connection simply because they've never experienced anything like it. Their heart is just full of, love at the base of it all for this person. And there's signs, synchronicity signals from Spirit that are telling them like, yes, this is a divine connection. You probably have multiple past lives and you committed to, and you're working on something really important for the higher realms. And so that's why it might feel so sticky in terms of your connection with someone. It might feel very complex because it might actually be quite complex. You might have come here to take on a really challenging pattern with that person, and you will know who it is because they were a catalyst for you. You keep on going back. That was a catalyst for you to change your life, a catalyst for you to become someone else. It's very exciting. Cosmic timeout. The masculine is on a cosmic timeout. So, when you hit that wall, it's not fun. It's the dark night of the soul, but not only that, it's when you take responsibility for your actions and you've hurt people or you've ignored things, or you didn't value people that really helped you, or you couldn't communicate your truth or whatnot to friends, family, lovers. That can hit you pretty hard. It can knock you off your feet. And it does take time to integrate that and put it all together, and then work on that insecurity, and then come forward confident, courageous, and just knowing that this is your decision to move forward in a new light and really take on that energy of the inventor. So, Divine Matrix. I'm going to have to see what this one is, but 4-4, so 222, 2121, 444, 44. Those are angel numbers that are going to relate to you and your person. And so let's check out what this says. This is Colette Baron Reed's Oracle of the Seven Energies. So masculines, the realm of spirit, the knowledge that we are all divine beings, part of a tapestry, weaving our dreams into the fabric of reality. So you're building your 9, your 10 of cups. You know what you don't want. You know where you fucked up. And now you're going, okay, now I need to actually go for what I want and not fuck up. Or fuck up, but be okay with it in terms of doing your best, right? Do you ever wonder how synchronicities have come together? These meaningful coincidences move life forward in ways we might not understand at the time. We can get trapped in the idea that the world is a place of separate parts with space in between, because the true quantum spiritual nature of reality can be confusing. And it was just 222 on the timestamp. And it's true. When you get in there, you realize you know nothing. Your brain explodes into a million pieces. And that can be really challenging for someone who seeks control all the time, because you recognize you're not in control. You're a part of a divine matrix, right? Imagine that everything possible under the sun is waiting to be claimed. You are not separate from what you desire to manifest. And that's something too, if you've disappointed yourself, or you've been disappointed by how your life is right now, let's say, unfolded, you can feel like, okay, well, nothing I do matters. Or I'm never going to get this dream of mine. Say it's manifesting a life mate, manifesting that partner who will be able to go through thick and thin, who really understands you from a mental, spiritual, and physical, so there's a passion place, right? Everything is intrinsically connected within a vast living web of life, a divine matrix. Even that which you have not yet observed as part of your life experience is still connected to you. It remains dormant until you choose it. So choice here, choices from the heart. Life operates on life's terms as well. You don't live in a vacuum, so you are surrounded by a multitude of realities that were brought to life by others. So you're manifesting, others are manifesting. These can surely affect you if you allow them to, but as your thread, your luminous life force, your courageous dream is part of the tapestry of life. You're being invited to be conscious of the pattern you are weaving. Isn't it amazing to know you have such power inherent in you just by being alive? You will see evidence of the truth of this divine matrix today. Is it in you? Are you ready to make that choice? What you do matters. All manner of miracles are waiting for you to lay claim to them. Ready. So if you've, if you've been a shitty person, you don't always need to be a shitty person. If you've been insecure and afraid to love, you don't always need to be insecure and afraid to love. You can reinvent yourself. You can move forward. You just need to put in the work, and you need to have your actions align with your words, right? being consistent in that dream, moving towards that dream. You guys have a lot. It's actually really awesome for the masculine energy. So a message from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. I didn't value myself, so I couldn't value you. And this comes down to the insecurity. So this connection here that's angelically and divinely guided, there's a lot of energy around it that's being supported. And this is a message to the feminine, right? And it's for both partners, especially if it's twin flames, because they mirror each other so much that both of them were insecure. Both of them didn't value themselves enough to actually accept that gift when it was given in terms of divine partnership. But it was all part of the path anyways, because that's what twin flames and soulmates do. They are a catalyst for you to let go of qualities, beliefs, patterns that don't serve you anymore, that are hindering and blocking your actual true desires and dreams, whether it's to be an entrepreneur, whether it's to settle down, have children, have a family with someone that you were just head over heels for, and that you have loyalty there and you can create that for one another. You could be a power couple, right? Like that could be a dream for you to work together, to actually be entrepreneurs together. So many things for all of you. Everything's going to be different. Is this masculine? Like, are they still attracted to the feminine? Like, what is their energy towards the feminine in terms of pleasure, in terms of sexual attraction? What are the energies here? Messages to the feminine. I love myself more than ever before. Now I want the pleasure factor. That is awesome. So these guys, this masculine energy, there is a shift here. They are loving themselves. They are prioritizing themselves and moving through challenging energies. So this is fantastic, because this is saying that, if masculines were avoiding this before, they're actually leaning into it. They actually are going, okay, fine. If I'm insecure or I have low self-worth, fine. I'm going to do what I need to do to improve that, love myself more so that I can have a better outcome, so that I can be loved and loving, so I can be in a relationship that I want, or simply that I can love myself. So I don't need to feel like I'm not worthy of love or anything of the sort, right? This is saying that they are worthy of love and they're starting to know it. But now they might want to build intimacy with pleasure instead of just focusing on pleasure. Now there's a lot of masculines that know that passionate instant gratification, it might be good for a little while, and it can placate things. You can learn through short relationships and that. But some of them are surface level for a reason, because you can't actually, go deep with someone there. So it depends on what your soul is looking for in this cosmic timeout. But you're figuring that out, if you want to go deep with someone, if you want to have that relationship that's mind, body, soul, it is rare. It's really rare. So you have to value yourself and value who has those qualities. Here's another message. I can barely hold your gaze, but I wish you were here with me. I wish I could say I love you and I want you. So some masculines here are hiding some feelings that have been repressed and pushed deep down. Maybe, there's been secrets or miscommunications, because when you're in energies of the old self and you have people who come in and you don't feel ready, this could be friends, could be family, could be lovers, you can push them away, and you can say things, you can do things that you're not proud of, right? So you can either keep that to yourself, or you can communicate that and actually actively clear up karma in this lifetime instead of waiting for it to resolve itself or whatnot. But this is saying that there's some reason they can't quite hold your gaze in terms of the counterpart. It sounds like they do see their counterpart as inspirational and divine, and they're acknowledging that there is a deeper connection there. But for some reason, they're having trouble. They're insecure about saying, I love you and I want you. So coming to that realization in this cosmic timeout and listening to the intuition, that now they're learning how to actually incorporate intuition into their daily decision making. But that message is for somebody, if you know who that person is for you. I love you and I want you. And it likely goes both ways. I love you and I want you. There's a beautiful energy here. There really is. So those are the messages for the divine masculine. And I wasn't sure that they would go for that long, but I think the divine masculine energy has really been going through a lot. So I wanted to, pay some respect there and make sure that I go through those. So let's go into the divine feminine. We have Raven, Shaman. You are the creator and magician. Use your gifts for good. Because when you're in that waiting energy and things aren't happening the way you want, Spirit's going patience and you're going, fuck you. You can kind of be like, I will use my power for evil. And you're not really thinking that, but you're just getting fed up and pissed off. So just make sure you're keeping your energy consistent and in integrity. Just like the masculines were asked to stay in integrity, you're asked to keep your gifts in integrity. So keep using your gifts for good. You're very powerful. The feminines have been working on their intuition. They're ahead of most of the masculines here in terms of actually working with their intuition on a daily basis on a different level. So the masculines definitely have their own edge in terms of spiritual equality here, but the feminines are definitely in that shaman energy. So there's power in your wisdom and words. So a lot of writers here, a lot of people creating. Hi, Jocelyn. How you doing? And so connect with the elemental spirits. Get out there, wildcraft, forage, do ceremony, do ritual, get your smudging. I basically, I had some frankincense. And so it's a bit of a mood booster, and I've been in a little bit of a funk of the last couple of days, maybe the last week even. And so I put some frankincense in, and it really does kind of like pick me up. So as soon as I'm done this reading, and I take my dog George out for a beautiful walk. It is beautiful and sunny here as well, Jocelyn. So that's what Spirit is saying for you feminines. Make sure you're really grounding, connecting to that side of you instead of rejecting it, because when it takes too long, you can reject it. Same as the masculines working on letting go of that manipulation energy from the past and taking responsibility for their actions. The feminines, you also have to stay committed to your gifts and not to reject those gifts because they haven't worked out for you, or they haven't brought you reward or love. You don't have your counterpart in your life just yet. So try not to give up. Try to be strong and hang in there. Keep moving forward with that beautiful light you bring to the world, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if you want to shrivel up and die and hide in a hole and go in a cave for millennia and okay, wake me up when everything's good. You're part of this transformation. You really are very integral. So it says connect with the elemental spirits and glide through the void. You are in the void. You are learning about the underworld more than ever before. This is a new layer of the underworld for some of you. I know I've already been there. I thought I had a taste, and no! Ha! 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 All right, so you guys understand what I'm saying there. Some of you, it's like when you're a shaman, when you're a guide, when you're a learner, constant learner, avid learner, sometimes you do get more than you bargained for, and I so have. I mean, I'm not sure where this is leading. I do have a lot of wisdom to share. I'm not quite ready to share it yet. It's like I'm kind of like contracted right now, and I'm not sure when. I feel Spirit kind of saying, okay, like things are coming, be ready, get excited. And I'm like, okay. So you too glide through the void, like embrace that bat medicine, this raven medicine, embrace the energies of the dark in terms of claiming your place as a keeper of the mysteries. So that's, whale medicine as well, vulture medicine, scarab beetle medicine. What else? Like throw it out there. What do you guys think of in terms of like the shadow totems, right? There's definitely ones where you think hummingbird, swan, you don't look at those as shadow totems, but raven, crow, vulture, beetle, a lot of those symbolize death, symbolize rebirth. So just know that you guys are cruising through the void right now. You're learning to pilot through the void. Maybe last time you were a co-pilot in the void. So you had more help from spirit in terms of like actively seeing validation in your 3D. Whereas this time you don't see as much validation in your 3D, but you, yes, Walter the Vulture, but you are the validation. Oh my gosh, boom, that just hit me pretty hard. You are the validation. So because you're gaining sort of traction with your spiritual gifts, Spirit is saying, before I showed you in the 3D, maybe you had more spirit numbers or angel numbers. Maybe you had people saying certain things to validate your intuition. And now you're the validation. So Spirit isn't at this juncture going, like you have a intuition and then Spirit's not going, boom, validation. Because you have to learn how to build that muscle, so to speak. You have to learn to build, to strengthen your wings to fly through the void, right? And I just had a really nice burst of fresh air come through here because I've got the door open. This is why the light is coming in. Okay, let's get a move on. Holy macaroni. So, new beginning. The feminine is also in this beautiful energy of new beginning. We also have a white owl here, symbolizing seeing through deception, self-deception, other people's deception, and just kind of, she's a queen here. She's the empress. She's the high priestess. Like, this is huge, okay? No offense to the masculines, because what's happening is, if the feminines are holding space and the masculines are coming forward, there'll be a point where the masculines are going to hold the space for the feminines. Like, they're going to hold the space and the feminines are going to blossom. And we're holding space right now and the masculines are blossoming. And like I said, this can be the divine masculine within you, the divine feminine within you. So it doesn't have to be a person outside of yourself, but it definitely can. So these queens, they're ready. They're not settling. They know their worth. They know their value. There have been difficult lessons from the past, and now they are, tentatively kind of looking out the window. She's not, in this particular card, she's not out there. She's not in a field. She's sort of protected still. So she knows that if someone comes forward, they have to be in that king energy. They have to be confident and courageous in coming towards her, and they have to be able to speak the truth. So that's a really beautiful energy for the feminines. And so another clarifier, new inspiration. So you are in a place right now where you might be taking some time to reprioritize and re-examine what you want out of your life. Do you want babies? Do you want to focus all your energy on going back to school? Do you want to totally be independent and choose never to have children and totally be fine with that? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to create art? Do you want to start a group, start a ritual where you're connecting in with more tribe members, say if you're starseed, or, connected to the Pleiades? Maybe you want to create a group and start connecting more to those people. So there is new inspiration here for the feminine because there's a foundation for it. So there's a strong foundation. There's this new beginning and new inspiration. So a lot of really exciting energy there coming through for the feminine. Now, it looks like the feminine is in a place of availability. So the masculine came through with insecurity, right? And the feminine's coming through with availability. And also, guys, if you are watching, if you can support me by liking the video if you do like it. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps my channel grow, helps support my gifts and my energy. There's also PayPal if you feel like donating, but you don't have to. And there's a lot of interesting information in terms of the card decks that I'm using. A lot of them today I created, and you can find that in the link below as well. So the feminines are available. They're available if you are single and you've been healing and recovering. You are available, right? So you're ready for the king. You're ready for the communication to come in. You're ready to go on dates. You're ready to experience life in a new way. You're ready to reinvent, renew, recreate. There's a lot of this fun and exciting energy. So a lot of new energy for the feminine new ways of seeing things, which is awesome. And so for the feminine, approval comes up with what you're working on in terms of your love life. One or both parties have a self-worth imbalance and are seeking approval. And I was just talking about that in terms of validation, but this one is connecting to love. This can also manifest in people-pleasing energies, seeking to fill a void or find validation in how someone else values us. So the feminines have really been working on validating themselves, approving themselves, not needing a masculine or a feminine in their life or non-binary partner in their life to show them that they're lovable. So, and that's a really common thing in relationship, but this is really big for the feminine to let go of people pleasing. So the overgiving, now you don't have to give gifts. You don't have to overgive and show your love and shout it from the rooftops all the time. I did that, and it was coming from a place of insecurity, right? And I didn't realize that so much at the time, but now I can see because I took the time to look back and go, oh, fuck. All right, cool. Well, that threw things off balance, right? If I'm the one like filling up all the space of love and gestures of love, and I'm doing that, whether I'm conscious of it or not, from a place of insecurity, like don't go, look at this, look at this, look at this. Then you actually are, unfortunately, subconsciously pushing someone away, and or you trigger their attachment issues, right? So we know there's a lot of psychological energy here, but let's focus on the spiritual energy of evolution. The only approval you require is your own. And it is wise to learn how to meet your own needs rather than asking others to meet them for you. Take back your power and embrace the possibilities. So the feminines have been doing this, and I feel like I've been working on this really strongly, even though right now I'm in one of those hissy fits as an Aries, wanting things to have moved faster and see more results. I've been really tested in my patience more than ever before, and my trust in myself and my connection with spirit and the universe. So I'm really being tested there. And I've been looking for validation from spirit. And in the 3D, it's like, I want validation. I want to know what I'm feeling and my intuition is true. But spirit's saying, this is the higher level of all the work that you've been doing. This is just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, in terms of now with spirit, which is your highest relationship where everything kind of flows down from. If you're not looking for validation from spirit either, holy shit, are you ever free? Like, you're really freeing yourself, because if you don't need validation from spirit or whatever you look to as greater than yourself, then you're not going to look for validation in people, right? Especially if you have a spiritual mindset or a unity consciousness already, because you know that, people are spirit. So then, anyways, I don't want to go into that very much right now, but you're taking back your power. You're embracing your intuition. You're embracing new opportunities. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Is what spirit is saying. And letting go of that validation for both parties, letting go of that insecurity for both parties, is really setting up a nice clean slate to move forward with these new beginnings. So inner compass, divine feminines, follow your inner compass. Keep on trucking to that dial. This is personal to you. Nobody can tell you what your direction is. Nobody can tell you where your heart belongs, who to love. You know who you love. You know what your intuition says. If you haven't met them, if you have met them, who this person is. That in the divine masculine section, there is a divine partnership here, and spirit brought this forth to be of service to the world. So if it's complete, then it's complete. And if it's not, it's not. Follow your inner compass here. Okay. You know what's true for you. And remember, if you're watching and you're a masculine, like I said, and this is why I preface things, these energies for the feminine would apply to the feminine nature in you, right? So, take that into consideration when you're watching these videos. Oh no. So the feminine has a tall tale, 35, resonating to the number 8. So this is Pinocchio energy. So this is interesting because I haven't read the messages yet. So let's see what this one says. A tall tale, 35. This is for the feminines. Okay. Denial, concealing the truth so you can manipulate and control the situation. Fear-based communication, creating a narrative to hide behind. Not allowing the fear of what others will think to influence your words. Learning to communicate from a place of authenticity. You or someone else is telling a tall tale right now. You always know if a falsehood is spoken because it doesn't feel grounded. When you lie, you get a high on an illusory sense of power that is doomed to fail at some point. You feel driven by the fear of exposure, but something makes you stick to your story even though you know it has no substance. Whatever lie we are caught up in isn't as important as the motive for it. Why does anyone lie? Perhaps we don't believe the truth is good enough, or we want to keep doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. Then there is the lie put forth while in denial, such as hiding an active addiction. In this scenario, we may believe our own lies. The tall tale, the white lie, the stretching of the truth, and the blatant fabrication are all about control. And I was talking about this with the masculine heavily. So this could be referencing the masculine, but of course, because you're mirroring, this is for both parties. The desire for it, the lack of it, the need to maintain it so we can manipulate the outer world and hide our inner one. That's all about control. Today, ask for the truth. Be willing to pay the price and be okay with the vulnerability your lie is exposing in yourself and others. Transparency is required to get to where you need to go to be truly empowered to reveal the strength of what is true and authentic. Any other path leads to a dead end. Whoa! That's crazy because the masculine has the dead end card. Remember the saying, the truth will set you free, and get ready to fly unfettered. So it does seem like there is a truth between you and someone else, and or a truth within yourself that you need to speak into form, that you actually need to bring up if you've repressed it. That there's energy of denial. And so be willing to pay the price. That's like, you know, I want to say for someone, like if you love someone and you're not sure whether or not they are going to say yes or no, or say you are going to propose to someone and you're not sure, you have to be confident enough. So to transform this insecurity into confidence, to go either way, like to accept the yes or the no, right? So it's talking about similar things like that. Be willing to pay the price. So if you ask someone to marry you and you're all in and you're ready and you're confident with that, and they say yes, great. But if they say no, when you made that choice to propose, you knew that that was a possibility of them to say no. And so that's you facing the truth. That's you facing that's being very vulnerable, right? And so, you know, when you're looking for control and you're using denial or lies to control the narrative or how people see you, then you're not in a place of vulnerability. And the other person will be able to naturally sense that. So you're actually pushing people away when you lie and you don't communicate your truth and your feelings. So, perhaps both the masculine and feminine are still being asked for the truth from spirit. Spirit is saying, like, hello, we can see you. We know. Why are you denying this? Why are you hiding this? Tell the truth. Set yourself free. Get ready to fly. So you can't just go, okay, I'm free now, and keep this within you. You can't. Spirit will constantly request that you tell the truth, that you communicate that. So definitely take a look within yourself and ask yourself, okay, are there any areas where I'm still wearing a mask? Is there anything that I actually do really need to say from my heart that's a truth for me? And just also remember, if there are messages coming through, to speak your truth. Be ready. Be ready to speak your truth. So know what your truth is so that you are able to communicate that. And so, message from the divine feminine to the masculine. Oh, I'm a narcissist because my childhood trauma taught me to fear love. It's not your fault. So this is a total mirror, because this one came up the last couple draws in terms of being in the masculine energy. So the feminine with the tall tale, it's kind of suggesting that this is an energy of letting go of the masks, letting go of any lies, deceptions that the feminine may also have created or told to herself or others in terms of what's going on in her life. And to the masculine, it's saying, like, you know, what happened too is a result of trauma from her childhood. So it's not your fault, right? So both parties are kind of saying too, like, it's not your fault. I didn't value myself, so I couldn't value you. I'm a narcissist because my childhood trauma taught me to fear love. It's not your fault. So both parties have dealt with narcissistic energies. Both parties seem to have dealt with empathic energies. You're both being guided. You're in different places, but you're also on the same energy of transformation and transition. So messages to the divine masculine for her: I want to lick you like a lollipop should be licked. All right. So she is wanting some attention. Yes, this one came up last time, and it's really risky. I want you to lick my breasts, suck my nipples, and come deep inside of me. She is really, really ready to rock and roll in terms of her sexual energy is just like ready. And that could be because of this weight, right? Like being in the hangman position or hermit energy, healing, regenerating. Her sacral chakra, her kundalini fire, that energy is really like roaring, ready to rock. But, you know, both of these are symbolic of the crown she's wearing, and she's not really ready to kind of just get down and dirty with anybody. It's like, no, you need to come in as a king, right? Like, you need to have more than just passion there. You have to be balanced and confident in yourself. So the energies between the two, and then this reading is going to be done. And I might pull a couple cards for personals, because Charlotte asked for one there. So we'll do that. So let's see for the two combined. So the union energy, trust. Your trust that everything is divinely unfolding will be rewarded. When you trust in yourself, so not seeking validation from a person or spirit, and your strength to adapt and evolve, you are trusting your innate ability to navigate challenges. You are supported as you build and restore trust in the universe. So, okay, I can see this, because I've been asking spirit, like, help me build trust again. Help me restore trust. And so spirit is saying, you are actually supported as you build and restore trust. So spirit is saying it's your responsibility to actually build trust again. And to clarify, we have interference. So there's something interfering with your ability to trust again. This could be your negative doubts. It could be other people's approval. Could be that validation. Could be the lies that this tall tale is coming up with, whether that's you or someone else that's just hiding something that would help both of you be free and help transition this into a new energy. So somewhere there is interference here, whether that's another person. When it comes to love, if your person is in a relationship with someone else, then that's interference. Also, let's see, this cosmic timeout, that could also be considered interference, because they're, doing their own thing for a little while. And so that's divinely guided energy where you're still in separation. So that's also interference, divine interference, nonetheless. So between the two takes initiative. So both of you have to have the confidence to take initiative in this situation. So it's really important to, if you have been the one who doesn't communicate, doesn't initiate, then this is your responsibility to come forward, take the initiative, bring the message through, communicate your feelings. If you're the one who always does that, then it's time for you to let someone take the initiative, because If you've always done that, if that's your comfort zone, stay out of it. Stay out of your comfort zone. If the other person is out of their comfort zone by taking the initiative, let them do that. The masculine, it seems, is the one here because they're insecure. It's like they need to learn how to come forward and take the initiative. So let's see. Sacred Reverence is the union card here. That's really quite beautiful. Energy 47. Let's read that. Okay, guys, we're almost done. Awe for the truth that spirit is everywhere. Inspiration coming through you as a result of reverence, joyful living, exploring possibilities with curiosity, spiritual passion manifesting from the starting point of the spirit realm. So we're always in a starting point, which is interesting, which means that anything is possible in terms of what you can see yourself creating. Are you going to look at yourself as limited or limitless? Sorry, that's me talking, not the book. Looking at the world, do you see all of life or only a limited part? When you look at a blade of grass, do you see just a plant? When you encounter a puppy, do you see just an animal? While this categorizing is one way of viewing the world, it is only a fraction of the truth. It isn't enough. Look closer. Maybe this is part of, are you looking at things too small, telling yourself a tall tale about the universe? Look closer and you'll observe the luminosity immanent in these living sentient beings. If you can allow yourself to take in all the world, including its spirit, then you see the whole. Reverence is an act of deep witnessing, respect, and awe. You experience it when you perceive every being and everything, every plant, rock, and tree as sacred and alive. Naturally lean into a state of bliss and harmony and a profound sense of well-being. Whatever your dilemma or question, try to reframe your perspective to acknowledge the spiritual. If everything has value, including your most frustrating challenges, would you still ask your question from the same place? Can you regard the other as sacred, thereby erasing the separation between you? Embracing the perfection of how you came together is real magic, and you are tapping into this unity right now. No matter who or what is in front of you, see that person or thing as luminous and your interaction as holy. Then you will know what to do for the highest good of all. So, Spirit is really saying, wow, don't focus on the separation between you and your counterpart. Focus on, your counterpart is luminous and your interaction is holy, no matter what, frustrating challenges there are. So that's really, really awesome. And a little fairy message for the two, wisdom. Your divine inner wisdom is always available to you. So continue to access your wisdom with regards to your life mate, your life partner. And a message from Isis Oracle, Scales of Balance, Ancient Tantra of the Soul. That's a really beautiful one to come through as the partnership, the unity card, because it's saying this is the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine within you. And so you've created unity within yourself, or you're practicing that right now. You're flexing that muscle, working through some insecurity, some denial, and validation energies, but nonetheless you're balancing the scales. And it's just 5757 on the timestamp there. So I'll read a little excerpt from the Isis Oracle because it's so big that I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just read the little excerpt. So you are a tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power. And that's the irony of it. With the lies, the deception, the control tactics, the overgiving, the narcissism, the empathy, all lower energy efforts to control. But when you actually build confidence in yourself, develop your self-worth, your self-love, then you're actually surrendering to this balance. So mutual respect and balance, you attain great power. So you actually attain the great power by becoming more authentic. You attain great power, presence, and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices and blessings of beloved Isis. So you are in the process of sacred relationship, healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within your own soul. This is the advanced spiritual path of Tantra. It is the connection of the body and soul. The effect of this inner divine relationship healing is genuine enlightenment of the mind and the body. The body becomes a living sacred temple of light, energy, and wild aliveness. This embodiment can be experienced in movement, in deep stillness, in vitality, and in quietness. Yeah, that's really beautiful. And it just says here, like, you know, it's not just sexuality. It's not just the tantra, that passion. It's about bringing the masculine and feminine polarities into wholeness, love, unity, and empowerment. So where we were disempowered before, we're feeling empowered. Where we were insecure before, we can be secure and confident. So the messages to each other, or a message from spirit to the two. We were both out of balance. Oh my gosh. We were both out of balance. It wasn't easy to let go, but was for the best at the time. So this sacred bond, this twin flame connection, spirit connection, this can be past life if you haven't met your person yet. If you have met them, this is why you had to let each other go, because you're both out of balance. Neither of you valued yourself. And so you had to be away from each other to learn how to value yourself. And that's just it, plain and simple. You know, spirit is saying, I mean, that's, you can't get any more powerful than that when you have the scales of balance card talking about, and in the middle section here, the united energy between the divine masculine and divine feminine. I mean, it can't get any more blatantly obvious than that. We were both out of balance. It wasn't easy to let go, but was for the best at the time, right? So you had to let go at the time. It was part of the divine unfoldment of your connection. So, wow, both parties needed to hear that. For, you know, it was meant to, at the time, you were meant to experience separation, and to actually understand within that separation too, that you were always connected the whole time within that separation, helping each other. Perhaps in the 5D, perhaps in the 3D, maybe a little bit of both. But of course, there were challenges along the way. So that's the reading, you guys. That's divine masculine, divine feminine, if you're catching this at the very end and you want to catch it from the beginning. And then the union energies for the partnership. So if you are watching and you want me to pull a card live for you right now, feel free to put yes, please, or I'd like a card in the comments there, and I'll pull a card for you. And then that's going to be it for the day, you guys. Just do your best. That's all anyone can ask from you. Spirit is really showing that they've seen all of your hard work. So if you need to connect in with ancestors, with past or loved ones, do it. Talk to them, connect. Say, like, I'm struggling, or I'm really excited about this new beginning, or I want to feel more secure about coming forward. I'm glad I value myself more. Like, talk to your people. And like I said, I'm going to go out into nature and enjoy that today. And we'll see if I can balance my own energies here too. But okay, it doesn't look like anyone. Oh, let's see. Okay, so Sally and Jake and Charlotte. So I'm going to do Charlotte's first. Now let's see, what cards do I want to use? I'm going to use the Fantasy Oracle, because I don't, actually I did use them in the spread here, but I'm just going to use these ones for today. Keep it nice and short and sweet. So this message is for Charlotte. She asked for one for the replay. And here we go. Spiritual communion. So continue to connect with spirit. Continue to own that power. Continue to have that as a forefront of your authentic self. And so this is part of maybe the divine feminine tall tale energy. You really bringing this through, like, I am a goddess, like I am high priestess. I do listen to my intuition. That is a part of who I am now. Really claiming that and continuing that, because I feel like spirit does have some messages coming through for you, Charlotte, that are really going to help you evolve. And you seem to be in a really good flow with that. So keep it coming. Keep on connecting to spirit and communing with your guides, your ancestors. Create more rituals so that you can connect with them more often. Keep on creating time for them in your life, because those rewards are going to be really fantastic and great as you move forward into the future. So this is an acknowledgement of your spiritual connection, saying, yes, keep it, we see it. We're grateful. This is fantastic. It's part of your service. Keep going with that. And also for you, continue. This is important for your evolution of yourself and your business. So that's fantastic. So let's see. Sally, this message is going to be for you. Sally. Oh, and thank you, everyone who has donated. I really do appreciate it. It's fantastic. So thank you so much if you have donated to the channel. And so this one is for Sally. Winter. So I'm going to pull a clarifying card for winter, but it does symbolize that either you have a direct connection to a spiritual, like a divine masculine that you know is from winter. Like that would be something big happened between you two in the winter. That makes sense to you. You would figure it out right away. And or they're really saying like coming up in winter, there's going to be a really beautiful shift and transformation. That doesn't mean that there's nothing going to be happening between then. But winter, for some reason, definitely has some extra energy for you. So to clarify winter, okay. So this I do feel like is a past energy. So there was, I might not get to everybody, you guys. I got to try to do this quickly. My battery is low. So sorry if I don't get to you. I will try to get to you next time. There was emotional turmoil in winter, and I feel like the spirit is saying that you are, spirit is saying you're healed from this. You are more available than you think. So there was emotional turmoil in the winter, and that you're more recovered, you're more healed than you know. So stay in your the confidence energy of you being available and open and having your heart open rather than back in the turmoil of the past. I feel like that's the message coming through for you. And for Marilyn, let's see, we're trying to get this through. Oh, it's so beautiful, angel. So you really do have angelic presence around you. You are an earth angel. Continue to shine luminously, shine bright. You're so worthy, so valid, and this goes for everybody, of course. But you really are needed. So you bring something so unique, raw, and special. You are a gem. Continue to shine, continue to shine, continue to shine. So, and thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that you guys popped on for the reading, and I really love your support, really love your feeling connected to this tribe. And I hope you have an amazing, wonderful day, and that this, connection lets you know how sacred you are and valued you are. So thanks, guys. Love you. Ciao for now. Bye.